What's going on, you guys? So everybody is talking about whether or not Errol Spence should be in the Hall of Fame. And honestly, I think he shouldn't be. But will he be? Yeah, because they got guys like Arturo Gatti, Timothy Bradley that somehow made it into the Hall of Fame. A bunch of other B-level fighters as well. But when you really look at Errol Spence's body of work, he didn't beat any Hall of Famers other than Mikey Garcia, who was a blown-up welterweight. Who was a blown-up junior welterweight to say that as well. I mean, he beat Sergey Lipinets and Adrian Broner at 140, who Adrian Broner, a popular name, but that's it. Sergey Lipinets never did anything other than becoming a gatekeeper for guys like John Ennis and stuff like that when they're on their way up. But since he beat, he's a 3-division champion before that. He moved up to 140, became a champion there, so he's a 4-division champion. So that's the only Hall of Famer on Errol Spence's resume. Other than that, he had 7 title fights before the Terrence Crawford fight. He fought Kell Brook, not a Hall of Famer, coming off of an eye surgery, knockout loss where he went up in weight to 160 and got destroyed by Triple G. Then he fought Lamont Peterson, who is a good fighter. I don't want to hate on Lamont because I like Lamont Peterson, but not a Hall of Famer. Then he unified, I believe, with Sean Porter, or he might have fought Ocampo before that. Never heard of that dude. He ended up getting knocked out viciously against Tim Tszyu. Then let's go to Sean Porter for unification. Sean Porter never did anything. He's a 2-time champion. I don't even know who he beat the first time to get his title. Probably a vacant title that PBC set up. An easy fight because he's an up-and-coming star. So let's get his name out there, get him a belt. And then he beat Danny Garcia, who never did anything at 147. He beat him for a vacant title, right? Then he goes into, he gets in a car accident. He comes back and fights Danny Garcia. Like I just said, Danny Garcia never did anything at 147. His best days were at 140, and he ducked the best at that time too. Terrence Crawford was there, didn't fight Terrence Crawford. Victor Postal at that time was a beast, didn't fight him either. He fought Lucas Matisse. But other than that, what has Danny Garcia done? Not a Hall of Famer. Then you go to Yordenis Ugas. Yordenis Ugas, again, not a Hall of Famer. He beat an old 43-year-old Manny Pacquiao. And I think he beat Sean Porter, in my opinion. But that's not really saying much. You beat Sean Porter, and you beat an old Manny Pacquiao. Not a Hall of Famer. But then he goes into Crawford and gets destroyed. If you really look at his body of work, yes, I'm nitpicking his resume, but it's not enough. It's not enough. How I look at Errol Spence is how I look at like a Derrick Rose or a Tracy McGrady. These were guys that had all the skills, all the potential, but their body of work is just too small. It's too small. He only had 7 8, I guess, championship fights. 7 before Terrence Crawford. And I don't understand why the Hall of Fame just hands out participation trophies. Is that what we're doing? Is the criteria that weak where guys in the media are going to say that? I mean, they inducted Arturo Gatti and Timothy Bradley, like I said. But guys like Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, those guys aren't Hall of Famers. They shouldn't be. If this is the case, is Paulie Malignaggi a Hall of Famer? Most people will say no. But guess what? He's a 2-division champ. Is Adrian Broner a Hall of Famer? Most people are probably going to say no. They like Adrian Broner, but they would probably say no. But I think Adrian Broner is a 3-division champion? I don't even know who his best notable win is. Paulie Malignaggi? If those guys are making the Hall of Fame, so you can give Errol Spence the pass and say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer then. But he shouldn't be. But certain guys in the media are going to lie to you or, want to appease to the fanboys out there and compare Errol Spence to guys like Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran. Maybe you guys know who I'm talking about, but I watched this video, and this guy really kept saying that Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran are pretty much in the same category of an Errol Spence, the same level. And that's crazy. Marvin Hagler was an undisputed champion and defended his title 12 times in a 7-year span. He knocked out 11 guys. And he beat actual Hall of Famers, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran. Really, he beat Sugar Ray and John Mugabe. And then Roberto Duran, same thing, defended the undisputed lightweight title for 7 years, and he defended it 12 times, 11 wins by knockout in that title reign. Then he lost. He went up to welterweight and he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, but he ended up losing again in the rematch. And he lost to Tommy Hearns. He got knocked out. He lost to Marvin Hagler, but within those times of him moving up, he won belts. He ended up beating, who was it? I'm spacing his name right now. The guy that knocked out Tommy Hearns for the middle, Iran Barkley. He beat Iran Barkley. He dropped him and beat him on the scorecards for the middleweight championship. A guy who started off at 135 and went all the way up to 160. I'm sure he even went even higher, but he won a title at 160. We're going to say those guys are in the same league as Errol Spence? No, those guys are in a league above Errol Spence. Errol Spence is not on that level. He's a one-division champ. Now, if he would have moved up to 154 or 160 and captured the title, then sure, I would absolutely say Errol Spence, is a Hall of Famer, but he never did that. And he hasn't fought since Terrence Crawford destroyed him. And for all the, Bud haters and stuff out there that I've been seeing on comments lately saying that, oh, Bud weight drained him and blah, blah, blah. Literally every single thing that Terrence Crawford said came true. People are going to make excuses for him. Oh, he stayed at the weight too long. It was the car crashes, blah, blah, blah. It's not Terrence Crawford's fault that Errol Spence ducked the fight for 5 years. It's not Terrence Crawford's fault that Errol Spence wanted to party and go drink and then drive and ruin his prime years. But guess what? Right when he fought Yordenis Ugas and knocked him out to become, a unified champion having 3 belts, people wanted to say, oh, this is the best Errol Spence we've seen. He's back. But then he gets in the ring, gets destroyed by Crawford. Everyone's saying, oh, he's damaged goods. And they want to discredit him. So I guess, yeah, Errol Spence is a Hall of Famer. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think he's deserving of a Hall of Fame spot? Am I hating? Let me know what you guys think. Hate, like, comment, subscribe.